one of my questions is what kind of community solidarity can we find in a place like Phoenix that's really critical? What aspects of community solidarity are critical for assessing these kinds of issues?
When SB 1070 really started and Arpaio was doing the raids, I had left the car business and just started working in criminal defense. And I went to the NAACP and I sat down with Reverend Tillman and I said, "Where are you at? Where are you?" And he told me that nobody's made a complaint to me. And I said, wait a second, it's the National Association for the Advancement of Colored Persons. Why does somebody have to come and make a complaint? He didn't have an answer for that. And then he told me I was a carpetbagger, and I quit the NAACP that day. So I looked at what was going on in the community at that point, and it was no different than what was happening to the black community in the 1950s and 60s. So, I was out there, day after day, sweating in the sun. I barely speak Spanish. I walked with people. We organized sort of an informal free riders thing. We would unplug the tail lights in our cars, and then when we knew there were going to be sweeps, we would go out in the area and deliberately get pulled over so that the sheriff's deputies were dealing with us rather than dealing with somebody who was trying to make it home. And, we would fake that, I can't find my license, I can't find my registration. So they would write you up, and then they'd walk up and be like, I found it. And so then you would have to go back and void the tickets. And it got so we actually had to get rental cars because they knew what we drove and they wouldn't pull us over no matter what we did. So there has been a lack of intersectionality between the African American community and the Latino Chicano community here. And I'm not sure how to deal that. When they're locking up your brother, or when they're locking up a guy who's just trying to get home to his family, in the black community, we have to look at that and say, these are my people too.
I guess I would say that I would like to go above solidarity and really meet people at the intersection of their struggles and say, I am in this struggle with you. Because the uprising I'm seeing now with, police accountability and all that stuff, it just really hits home to me because my brother was shot, and my brother's brown, and, so I see and I relate and I'm like, yeah, I'm there, I feel it, and, it makes me happy to see that these conversations are finally happening. I mean, nationally, it's a big deal, so I'm really happy even here locally. There's a coalition of people who are trying to do the same thing with the Phoenix police here. So I think if we meet people at intersections and we respect people, the history of their struggles, and respect people where they're at, because not everybody knows everything at once. It took me a long time to figure things out. I was using slogans that were probably a little divisive in the past that I had to figure out, like, hey, you know what, that's not right, People would get angry and they would yell at us, and I'm like, no, dude, we gotta build community. And we build community by sharing and talking about it and making it an open conversation. So I would say meeting people where they're at and going above solidarity and meeting at the intersection.
So one more question then. What are some ways then to make these changes going forward, especially at the local level? We just think about our neighborhoods, our communities.
I would say on a local level, we would have to build community, and I think that with my group Fuentes, I feel like that's what we do. We're very accepting of people. It's a very open space. Even on an individual level, like I try to create a safe space for everybody. I don't want to be a reflection of the system. I don't want to judge people. Everybody is entitled to self-determination. And so I think on a local level and even on an individual level, creating those spaces where we can be ourselves and talk about things that we wouldn't normally talk about because society is a little too harsh, Okay, Puente, we're a human rights organization, and we started in 2007 after, like I said, 27G happened. We pretty much responded to a lot of the a lot of the issues people were going through locally. We made an assessment over things, needs and wants, and then we created a community defense. It's a course that we created. It's a 6-week course, and it pretty much teaches people how to use the legal system in their benefit, which would be to get paperwork together, like if you're arrested and you're about to be deported, what paperwork you should have together, your family, a safety place. It teaches you what paperwork not to sign. You're going to have to raise money for bonds. Once you go to court, that it just maps out the system for you. And I got to give props to that because, like I said, as a Chicano woman, see my brothers locked up and go through the system. My brothers just got time on top of time on top of time because we didn't know how to maneuver through the system is not made for us. So, it's used against us. And so I got to give props to Puente coming up with this curriculum because we're actually giving people the tools they need for survival in this world that's just so criminalizing and ready to lock us up.
I have to say that Puente is probably the most effective human and civil rights organization in existence in Arizona. I can't think of anybody doing it better than Puente. They have been relentless. They have been relentless. They have lobbied elected officials. They have been down there at the State House over and over and over again. Because of the way that they are relentless, they have gotten access to the police department. Carlos will walk he will walk up to the chief of police and say, I have an ask. And he isn't asking, he's telling him what, this is what we expect going forward. I would think that within the next 20 years or so, Puente will probably morph into its own political party here in Arizona. And I think they will have real power. Because the children, the citizen children of people who have been deported, who have stayed here, are going to be, I think they're going to have the highest voter efficacy that we see in Arizona. They're going to be voting out of anger, justifiably so. This is so personal because I was born on one side of the line. I'm somehow more valuable in this country than somebody who wasn't. My girlfriend owns a coffee shop, and her baker, who's an American citizen, is leaving in May to go to Mexico to be with her husband, who was deported. And their child is already in Mexico. And she's bright, funny, and talented, and vital, and her husband, who is amazing. And it is to America's great detriment that this family is not here. When I see Eileen, and I realize that the days are going by, and she's not going to be here, it is so hard. I mean, what do I say to her?
I'd like to say one last thing. So, I talked about on the local level, but really quick, like if we really think about these issues that are happening here at home, they're obviously happening on a national level, but then on a global level, we think about, how migration is criminalized here, following like the global migration problem. You think about all the people who are sitting in detention centers. People in Australia wrote a letter to an elected official. They asked if they can all be put to death because they said that nobody in the world wants them. And so I'm seeing this epidemic that's happening everywhere, and it's not just here, it's everywhere. We're all connected. This is one struggle. We need to stand up and we need to fight against it. I don't know what y'all got going on in your personal lives, but sometimes we need to put that down, and we need to really focus on the real issues. And somebody here earlier, they talked about the media being a problem, and I completely agree. I don't watch the basic TV media because what I'm seeing on there is xenophobia, lies, racism, and so I have to use alternative outlets to get my news. And I'm connecting the dots, and it's happening everywhere, and it's really going to global thing.
What's a way for me to get involved in criminal justice reform or police reform locally?
I think doing what you're doing and not being afraid to sit down and send an email to an elected official and say, I'm not okay with this. I want different policies for police officers. I want different policies in place with regard to immigration. The power of an email is actually bigger than you think, but writing an old-fashioned handwritten letter has an even greater weight. Show up at city council meetings. Show up at the legislature. Why shouldn't the lobbyists be the ones that are heard most frequently? And even some of the most people that I disagree with most, when I call John Kavanaugh's office, he'll take a meeting with me. He may not, and he'll listen. I don't know if he'll act on anything, but he takes the time to sit down and listen. We've had some raised voice conversations in his office. But keep being engaged and bring people with you.
I guess about policies. So since my brother, I'm 1980s, war on drugs, like I've seen that all in my lifetime. And then, the policies that kind of structured war on drugs. And now I'm seeing with the Senate bills, there's recent Senate bills that are being introduced as we speak that are maximum sentencing for undocumented people. So I think we need to really challenge those policies that are being put in place that are leading to mass incarceration and criminalization of people and marginalizing people. But staying involved, I would say, get with your local group, human rights group, whoever you feel like you fit in the most with, who you vibe with. And I would say, just get involved like that. And as long as you, and I was kind of personal level, this is what I tell everybody, be a good person. Treat people with dignity and respect at all times because that's how you want to be treated. So in small ways you can do that. You can be the change that you want to see.
So you commented on police recruiting out of the military quite a bit, and there's a couple of reasons for that. Cops very much like to have a group of people that look a lot like them, and that's why the city of Phoenix, with 2,800 sworn officers, 103 of them are African American. Most of the cops here are actually white, and there's a huge cultural disconnect between an officer like Mark Ryan, who's patrolling on Indian School and Black Canyon Highway, and comes in contact with Remain Brisbane and kills him because he doesn't know how to communicate with him. If you're coming from Anthem, you're driving 40 minutes into the city, you don't have buy-in to that community. The other reason that the military is heavily recruited is because you've got a fairly young person who theoretically doesn't have any substantial arrest history and doesn't have any drug history because they get tested when they're in the military. Right now with Phoenix PD, they're allegedly hiring 300 people, and if you've used marijuana more than twice in your entire life, you are not eligible to be a Phoenix police officer. So, quite frankly, I think a lot of cops would benefit from getting it. There was a Phoenix police officer named Kevin McGowan who was caught on video kicking a young man who was on the ground, smashed his teeth out. Chief Yoder fired him. The Civil Service Review Board gave him his job back, and then Chief Yoder turned around and sent that same officer out to Maryvale because he said, well, at least he'll have a camera on. My question for Chief Yoder is, why didn't you send him to the Land of Misfit Toys, also known as Property Division, and have him inventory and tow cars for the rest of his career, where he never comes in contact with another person?